All right. Well, welcome back once again, entrepreneurs one and all, to the Entrepreneur Excellence Podcast, where we go out into the marketplace and we scrub the entire landscape of business owners and entrepreneurs to find those that are most inspired and inspiring in their journey to entrepreneur success and excellence. And today I've got a really good friend of mine, George Madiou, joining us today. And I didn't have to scrub too hard to find this guy. He is everywhere. And we've known each other for now, 20 years or so, right, George? And
yeah,
it's been really fun to watch your journey. So we're going to learn all about you and where you're going and what's up next and so forth. So welcome, George.
Well, thank you for having me, Steve.
So, George, you like a lot of us as entrepreneurs, this isn't your first rodeo, as they say. And you actually had an entrepreneurial spasm, an entrepreneurial drive, eke out really early on. Would you give us a quick, short summary of what you were doing before you ran into network marketing as an industry?
Well, you're absolutely right. Before I got involved in network marketing, I had just shy at that point of 30 businesses that I had been a part of. Some people call that, a serial entrepreneur.
Right.
But I loved being in business for myself. I had the typical education, a business degree from NYU and everything else. And I just couldn't see myself working for somebody
else. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead. So 30 businesses. Now, were these businesses that you'd call side hustle, or were they really like real businesses?
There were some side hustles there. There were some real significant businesses. I mean,
yeah.
and it spanned over a number of different industries.
Yeah.
In my 20s, I owned a liquor store that I started from scratch.
Wow.
I had a commercial real estate business. I had one of the largest swimming pool service businesses in the country. All right, so some of them were real businesses. Some of them were extreme learning experiences.
Aren't they all? So we mentioned network marketing, folks. I neglected to introduce George with his current title. He's the CEO and founder of the Network Marketing Magazine. Now, this is a really interesting concept here. But before we get into how the magazine was born, tell us a little bit about your journey in network marketing. Like a lot of folks, as I've come to know you, you were doing fine in other businesses, but you saw some limits. There was some like burdens that came along with owning a traditional business, and all of a sudden you were approached by this idea of network marketing. So tell us the story there. How did you stumble into it, and what happened once you got involved with network marketing?
Well, that's a great question, because I wasn't looking for network marketing. I wasn't looking for another business at the time. And my entry into network marketing came from a product experience, not a product experience for myself, but my wife. She was in a horrible automobile accident, and we found a product that, changed her life, literally.
Wow.
She suffered for 18 years, and the product really turned her completely around after, hospital stays and 4 back operations and everything else. So
wow.
It got my attention when I found out that it was a network marketing company. That didn't mean too much to me, but I became really successful because I had a story, and my story was my wife's story.
Excellent.
And then when I looked at the business side as an entrepreneur, I said, "Oh my goodness, You mean to tell me I don't have to have employees? I don't have to pull permits?
Right.
That hooked me on network
That's
marketing.
that's a classic story, and I think it bears emphasis, George, that you got involved in the business because of what the business offered to the marketplace and to you and your family, more so than getting involved initially or being attracted to it for some other reason. We're going to come back around to that whole dynamic there, because I think there's a real message that I think we can deliver. But so you got involved in the network marketing industry. You fell in love with it. I think it's safe to say you did very well. And then you decided to start this network marketing magazine. Now, what was the genesis, the germ seed there?
Well, in the industries that I had been in, I had never, ever, ever seen any of them that had an attrition rate that network marketing had.
Yeah.
And, people were coming and going. It was like a revolving door. And so I also realized when I really dug into it that there was only 3% of the people that were making significant money. Again, I had never been in an industry with such a low, income success that. And so that was really the beginning of the magazine. Our mission for the magazine in the very beginning was to support the orphans of the industry.
And by that you mean people that explain that term. It's compelling.
So the orphans of the industry that I saw were people that joined because cousin Sally just joined a week ago, told them about this beach bum that became a millionaire in this company, and cousin Bob said, "Hey, sign me up." A week later, Sally quit, and Bob's left with this dream, but
nobody around to help,
nowhere to go, nowhere to be guided. So,
and that's an interesting thing about network marketing. So it's great news that it's people to people marketing, and that there's not a tremendously high bar to jump over to get involved.
That's a problem.
But that's the problem too, isn't it?
If it was $10,000 or $20,000 to get in, very few people would be quitting.
People would stick with it. Yeah. That's so interesting. Yeah. And you're right. Let's call that out. 3% are actually making money and successful, or at the highest levels of success, you would say. And it's a known statistic that most small businesses, 1 in 5 actually, small businesses fail or succeed. And the 4 that fail, it sounds discouraging, but that's 20% success rate in traditional business. Right. And so in network marketing, there's an issue. So the network marketing magazine, George, began as I followed it. I discovered it and watched what you were doing. It sought out folks that were experts. You might call them gurus, certainly in many cases icons in the personal and professional development domain. And what you did is you pulled those voices together into the magazine. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the people that you've had the privilege and opportunity to meet and along the way and bring into this rich database of wisdom?
Yeah, what happened is that in my journey of learning the skill sets necessary in network marketing, I came across, guys that through their teaching produced $1 million earners. Well, I wanted to learn more about what they were teaching.
Sure.
And guys like Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Dennis Waitley and Earl Nightingale. I mean, I just started reading and reading and absorbing, and I was mesmerized. And the reason why I was mesmerized was the fact that if you had such great teachers like this, why don't we have more people that are making money?
How could you fail? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I realized that the in the beginning, when we started the magazine, it was a way to give them someplace to go to learn the skill sets necessary to become successful. And it was it just grew out of hand. I mean, to the point where we've got 3,000 articles now, 15 years later.
That's incredible. And you went through a list of pretty impressive individuals there that not only you were learning from, but you actually came to meet and know personally, not just to get a photo shoot or a selfie, but to really, get to know. So
I got in their face.
What's that?
I got in their face.
There you go.
I mean, I contacted many of these people, and what I basically said was, first of all, how impressed I was and how much I learned. Yes. And that I had this publication that I wanted to be able to shine a light on you, you know. And I never came across anyone, big names, that didn't want to have a light shown on them, you know. And so we became friends because I didn't promote, con artists or anything. I promoted real people with substance.
Right. Yeah. Credible people with, as a term I've heard you say often, wisdom of the ages, people that basically brought sound principles to the idea of achieving success in business and life. I think it's very impressive, George, what you put together there with the magazine. So, but that's you could most people would call that good, bring a bunch of icons and all stars together, basically delivered to the marketplace. Classically, folks, let me point this out. Here's what George did. He saw a problem in the marketplace, i.e. orphans, in an industry, a specific industry, so he niched himself. And then what he did is brought a solution and actually wasn't afraid to bring what he had and build it from there. So it's a classic entrepreneurial journey, George, that you should be very proud of. But here's what's really awesome is you didn't stop there. So you went back, as I understand it, to this problem of only 3% of everyone being successful. And you did a little deeper dive, as I understand it, into researching. So what's that all about? And where's the rest of people? Where's the other 97%? So you want to give us some insight on what you learned there.
Sure. We had over 100,000 people in the magazine at the time that I was really pondering what's going on with this attrition rate and the lack of success. And so we started to do an analysis with the people that we could get a hold of, because some of them joined 90 days later, they were gone.
Yeah, they were leaving your magazine and the industry. Yeah, crazy.
So what we ended up doing was we did an analysis, and the short story is we found that clearly there was 3% that made big money. There was 70% that I like to say they thought they bought themselves a network marketing lottery ticket. Mm-hmm. Now that's not really fair for all of them,
right?
Because that 70% also included people that didn't think they bought a network marketing lottery ticket, but they just didn't have a guidance of how to jump in, and then they just said, forget about it. This is just too hard for me to figure it out myself. And that left 27% of the people that were hungry, or they were starved to find out what they had to know and learn and apply to be successful like those big money earners.
Yeah. So you've got 100% of the industry. 3% are actually making big money, which I want to come back to here in a second. And then 70% sort of coming and going for whatever reason, discouragement, weren't serious, whatever. And so you calculated then that there was actually a top tier of that 70%, let's see, above the 70%, there's a layer there between the 70 and the 27% that were like you, that were hungry, looking for, how do you get this thing done? How do you make this work? Who can teach me? Who can I learn from? Right.
Right.
So it's fascinating. And let's talk about the 3% for a second. So, and I kind of know what you'll say here, but are the 3% business, have they achieved success? Are they business leaders? Are they business teachers? Tell us a little bit about the makeup and the profile of that 3%.
What we found was, out of those 3%, and this was eye-opening to me. 2% of the 3% had no clue how they made the big money.
Yeah.
It was easy for us to figure it out, because what they did was they sponsored me, they sponsored you, Steve. We dragged them over the big money finish line. Everybody else that they sponsored never made more than $150, $200, $300 a month at the most. Yeah. Right? So it was the 1%ers. And that's where the 27%ers said, they'd see those 2% of the 3%, said, what do I got to learn? What do I have to learn to be a big money earner like that idiot? Because really, they weren't brilliant. They didn't espouse the wisdom of the ages like right. You said, they were just lucky big money earners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So again, sort of what's the word for that? Well, at very least, it's ironic that you have this tremendous income potential, and yet not a clear path that can be taught except by just a few. And that's what you then stepped into in your next entrepreneurial chapter. And so you have calculated this 27% and actually created it as a theme for what you're doing now with the Network Marketing Magazine. So you want to give us a little insight into what this 27%er distinction means as it pertains to what you've put together for those people that truly are seeking direction and guidance for achieving success in this industry.
So what happened was, at that point, I turned from a serial entrepreneur to an educational entrepreneur. Uh-huh. Specifically, a network marketing educational entrepreneur. Right. All right. And I didn't see that out there. My background, my first job was to go back to my high school, and I became a substitute teacher, right, for 6 months until they learned that I didn't have a teaching degree. And then the shop steward ended up talking the principal into firing me. And I thanked the principal, because I said, I really want to be in business. And what you guys are teaching is not fair to the students. So that started my serial entrepreneur journey. When I got to the point where I had a magazine with thousands of articles, one of the things that I realized was the fact that nobody is going to read all these articles. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one that's read every article, and I have to. I'm the publisher, But we did certain things in the magazine, like being able to do a sort by favorite author or subject, like prospecting. And that helped them a little bit. But I realized that we weren't teaching them the skill sets necessary. So we designed a system called the 27% success system.
Uh-huh.
And it was designed just the way we all have learned over the years, in a sequential way down a pathway, starting from elementary school, middle school, high school, college, that we took bite-sized pieces and built the building blocks on. And I said, why can't we do the same thing in gaining the understanding and the knowledge necessary to become successful in network marketing? So we started putting together a curriculum based on that from the superstar contributors that we had. It wasn't any one of us. I mean, I show up very rarely in this whole teaching sequence, right? But who shows up is Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Dennis Waitley and famous people that use these concepts, right? And it's broken down the way we learn, and it's in little bite-sized pieces. So the program is a 15-minute a day, daily, year-long program.
Okay.
And we learned some lessons there because a lot of people weren't following the instructions. Just take 15 minutes. So what we did was we ended up having the sequential lessons dished out from the time a person joined. They got the first lesson. If they wanted to go ahead to the second, third, fourth, which in the beginning, they'd knock off 20 lessons, 30 lessons. They'd love it. They would go crazy. And then after that,
and then fall off.
Because they weren't hooked on the habit that's necessary to become successful. So we just fed them, if they wanted to go to the next lesson, the button actually said, your lesson will be available on March 3rd, 2020, And so that's what happened, is we gave it to them in bite-sized pieces and fed them the way they learned.
Yeah, this is great. I love a couple of things. Let's put a spotlight on. One is as I touched on, you used an asset that you'd already spent a lot of years putting together, but then it sounds like created your own sort for how to put it into a sequential process. So it's a classic making a better mousetrap. But again, in answering a very specific problem that you saw. And so I love the using what you have, but then making it better. But then you said something really powerful there about the habit, the daily habit of success. So it sounds like, George, one of the things that is embedded in the 27% success system is sort of at first probably, but then over time it takes a life of its own, sort of training wheels for one of the key principles to being successful in anything that you do.
So what would happen if you're teaching your son to ride a bicycle with those training wheels, right? And you knew that the only way he was going to end up learning is he had to get in that habit, like you said. But really the key word before that is you have to be hooked on the habit. And by feeding it to them daily, that hooks them on a habit. I'll give you a real life example. My wife started to do the system. Right?
Okay.
Now, she's not a network marketer. and she's a vice president of a company. And so she started to do it. Well, after Modular 1 was complete for her, which was a 30-day period, she said to me, I can't believe how good this is. I'm hooked. I can't believe it. Not only that, the principles that are being taught on this is not only principles that are valuable for network marketing, they're principles for the business world.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. That's great. So sequential, bite size, and you are so confident about what this is going to do for people that you've created a guarantee, and I love it. If you don't improve or increase your outcome, your financial results in your business in a year by at least 27%, then you'll give them their money back. Do I understand that?
Yeah, I'll give them their money back for the cost of the program. The cost of the program is a Kingsley ransom, right? First of all, the program itself, the 27% success system, is free with a monthly membership to the Network Marketing Magazine. And it resides on the magazine.
That's
right?
Great. I love it.
But the thing is that what happens is what we've got is a situation where, wives, my wife said to me, are you sure you want to do that? I said, I'm positive. I've already seen the success. And all they need to do is to do the program every single day.
Right.
And we're a technology company also. So we know when you're doing it and not doing it. We know if you've missed a week or whatever, it's not going to work. But if you do it every single day and show us what you earn the first month that you started and the 12th month, and if you only got 25%, we'll give you all your money back.
Yeah, that's great. So I think it's a brilliant concept. One reservation that I can see some people having is the idea of a year-long program. George, do you predict that it'll take a year to be successful, or to reach the level of success we're talking about here, or can it happen sooner?
Oh, it can happen sooner. And the way we knew it from the beginning is that there is so much training out there, and all training's not equal.
Sure.
Right? So if you do a Google search on network marketing training, up comes not 1,000 articles or 100,000 or 1 million. It's 82.4 million articles. So there's no shortage of training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what we did in the very beginning was we said, if somebody experiences this, like my wife did, if they experience it for a month, it's over. They are hooked. All right. And so we put together a try us out bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can join and try us out for a month, both the magazine and the success system. All right. And 2 days before they end up getting that Kingsley ransom charge for the monthly membership of the magazine, which is $27. Mm-hmm. Before the $27 is charged on their card, we're sending them an email saying, hey, we're going to be charging you in a couple of days. If you want to make any changes in your membership, click this link, right? What I was surprised is that it was the retention going from free to $27 was incredible. It was 85% went on to purchase it, all right? And we did a little tweaking and we got it up to 93%. So what happened is that we knew from those people that did it for a month, they were already showing improvement on their business.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to increase it 27%, but they're improving it more than anything else that they had done.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so the cracking the code on creating a pathway for success, combined with what you're talking about here, George, is making that path compelling enough that 90+% those that sign up want to keep going. That's really impressive. So, George, we're going to wrap this up. I just want to, speaking to our audience here, I want to emphasize that, yes, indeed, there's a lot of training systems and programs out there. But you want to ask yourself, are those systems, first off, embedded in wisdom and principles, or are they basically just somebody's idea about what they think might produce success? And then secondly, take a look at the way this is set up so that there's really zero risk to really tap into something that could change your life. And if you see yourself as somebody that really does believe that they can and desire to make their network marketing business fly, this particular program is something that you really, really want to check out. And as I said, it sounds like to me it's pretty much risk-free. So, George, brilliant compilation of insight, classic entrepreneur thinking here, and I got to say, I'm impressed and proud of you for getting this thing out into the marketplace.
Well, I appreciate that, and it means a lot to me because you, Steve Dailey, has been my coach for 20 years, and so I attribute a lot of the things that we've done in this business to our collaboration, and I appreciate you and thank you for just that.
Well, it's been fun, and I have a feeling that we're just getting started. So folks, we're going to call this a wrap today. Again, you've been hearing from George Madiou, CEO and founder of the Network Marketing Magazine and originator of the 27%er Success System, which I strongly encourage you to check out. So until we meet again, strive on, drive on, and thrive on to entrepreneur excellence. Have a great day.